Today. Diecast Dave, the first hello I see. Well, that just warms my heart. And he says, hello! Which I put a lot of extra O's. I'm talking to Melissa off camera. I'm not myself. I might be talking to myself. Oh, look, there she is. She's real. She's here. She is making the tea. This is how we unwind at the end of the night. We invite a whole bunch of, I feel like, if you're in Canada, you would remember the Friendly Giant. And it was actually, he was an American guy. But anyway, he came up here and did the TV show, and he would be this big Friendly Giant guy, and he had Rusty the Rooster, and he had these little bits of furniture that he'd move around. That's how I feel here, inviting all of you into our home tonight here. So hello and welcome to today's live feed. And if you're not Canadian, you're going to have to look up Rusty the Rooster and the Friendly Giant after this, just so you know. Oh, my sister Heather is on. Hello, Heather. Heather, call me after the live feed because I missed your phone call. I was busy getting ready for the live feed here, and she tried to call. I'm not intentionally missing out on you, Heather. Not trying to anyway.
Ignore your call. I hear what happened.
So boy, what do I even talk about? Oh yeah.
I just saw Alexander's thumbnail for this video.
Yeah. Is it showing us a bit blurry? Melissa's gonna check.
Oh wow.
Is it that blurry?
It was.
Okay. Pretty blurry tonight, it says.
Well. Spoiler alert. Alexander's uploading a video.
So this might be part of the challenges that I'm. I wonder if I just go. Hang on. I'm gonna try something. If I disconnect, I will try coming back on right away. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna try something. Are we back? We're live. Oh. Okay, there we go.
What did
Look
you
at
do?
that. Ba-ba-ba-bum.
Well, you know all these magical things that I have no clue.
Is that better, guys? Tell me if it's less blurry.
Tell me if it's less blurry. Look at my screen.
Back clear. Okay, there we go. That might be a little too clear. That's like HD clear. Boy, I should have shaved or something. Now that I got this clear image here, better get myself all. I better do the cat thing. Meow, meow, meow. That's it. You get your hair back by doing the cat. Meow.
I mean, that's something.
If you see my leg go up over my head, turn it away.
Wow.
No, I will not be cleaning myself like a cat today. That's all going to stop right now. What is wrong with me?
That's how you started the live?
This is how we start the live. Hello, we are a classy family.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, okay. You guys, for those of you that have been with us for a bit, you know to expect the unexpected on a live feed. So anyway, that's happening. I had a phone call today from all the way in Australia. If you're watching from Australia, it's not that far for you, because we're not in Australia, but you phoned here. Somebody in Australia phoned here, and they were all excited. I'm not going to name names unless you write me and you tell me that, hey, I'm excited for this. Oh, Starkwant says, yay, that was me. Yes, so she called me today. She said, I was wanted an excuse to call Canada. You can just call Canada. There should just be like a Canadian number where you phone somebody and they're like, hey, it's Canada, eh? And you're like, I always wanted to phone Canada. You got me here. I'm putting maple syrup on my pancakes. No, maybe they say flapjacks. I'm putting maple syrup on my flapjacks. So she said she always wanted a reason to phone Canada. And so she phoned Canada, which I guess you dial
it's
1.
Tomorrow there now.
No, it's 7 p.m. tomorrow there.
In Australia?
It is. And she said, tomorrow. I am the one who won. I'm the one who won. I am the person who bid on and won the bunny tin at the last auction. I'm not paraphrasing here. And then she says, however, there was another bunny tin I was interested in. But you have to imagine she said this with an Australian accent. So she's like, I'm the one that I was putting my shrimps on the barbie. No, okay, okay. Anyway, she wasn't barbecuing shrimp. I don't know. Were you? I don't know. I didn't ask what you were doing at the time. I think it was in the morning. 11 a.m. there when she called. So she said she was interested in the bunny tin, but there was another one she was interested in. And I don't know if this is the one that you were after or not. I said, if you watch today's live feed, I will bring the bunny tin with me and I'll see if that's the one that you were looking for. So I have this bunny tin that was from the house, which will be going up at the next auction sale. So I don't know if that's the one you're after or not, but anyway.
I'm guessing so.
She says, yes! I don't know why you put so many S's. Are you having a snake problem there, or did you pass out on the S key on your keyboard? Yes! Boom! You're right down on the S button. You're just like, oh, she's just being really excited about that. Miles Handyside says, $9.99. He sent us $10 and says thank you. Well, thank you is what we should be saying.
So for some reason, occasionally I'll get a note saying, you didn't see my super chat. I'm trying, you guys. Sometimes it doesn't show up for us. I don't know why, but I saw that one.
Yeah. Nancy says, spacey shirt there, Alex. Just so you know, on my shirt, I got this from a store named Simon's. There's an alien, a gray alien. There is, what is that? I don't know. Oh, a flag on the moon. Let's see. This one says top secret. There's a Sasquatch somewhere roaming around. Oh, hang on. You can see part of him there. There's a Sasquatch roaming around, and there's the Illuminati symbol. You know, it's like your conspiracy theory shirt.
Starquan said, yes, that's the one, thank you.
Yes, okay. So Starquan, I will put this through the auction for you. I actually had it sitting next to my bedside. So that is going through to you at the auction. Now, what I would have to say would be that most of the things we're putting through auction, we're going to start everything right around like the $10 mark. I think that there's going to be some good deals at this sale. It's a lot of costume jewelry with a few special pieces in the mix. But we had so much more to move and sell that we just had to do another sale. Patricia says she likes your shirt.
So today, I'm not sure if this was just Canada, but February 24th is Anti-Bullying Day, and they call it Pink Shirt Day. So
and what does it say? You got to show them.
Be kind. And for me, Melissa means honeybee, so I thought that was appropriate. So there you go.
Yeah. But it's not from like an old video store. It's not a Blockbuster shirt. The back doesn't say rewind.
No.
Be kind, rewind. Remember that when that was a saying?
Just be kind. I have another one that says kindness is among us, and it has little Among Us characters because I work with kids.
Illustrating Bard says you should start a bunny tin side hustle. Yeah, just got this in, guys. This would be me. This is why you can't put a Canadian like in a back alley in New York, because I'd be like, yeah, come here. I got something for you. Come. Anybody looking? And I'd be like, check this out. Don't look. Don't show nobody. I got a fresh bunny tin in. Don't talk about it with nobody. Anyway, I'm hustling bunny tins apparently. I only had 2 of them. She bought the other one. Apparently this was the one she wanted. Who was I to know? But look, I still have it. There's all kinds of stuff that we didn't put through that other auction sale. Anyway, there's going to be another sale.
Lucy
but it
said, was there an earthquake there? There wasn't one here. Where was it? Banff or something like
that. It was in our province. We didn't feel it here though.
No.
Yeah.
I think I would... I don't think we've ever had an earthquake that I've felt before, ever. Yeah. I've gotten sick and there was an earthquake somewhere, but...
Starquant, she says, I got the other bunny tin and I liked it. But it was, I don't know if you had a picture of it and I could show you. It was like, these are kind of cute bunnies. Aww, they're cute bunnies. Hers were kind of like, they're up to no good bunnies. They were slightly devilish bunnies.
Oh my goodness.
They had their own charm. You know, like when you read a really old German illustrated children's book and you're like, oh, they're like full on throwing Hansel and Gretel in that oven.
So is she the one that won the other bunny tin?
Yeah, she won the other bunny tin. And she's interested in this one.
Somebody else said you should just sell it to her. I agree. I think we should just sell it to her. Because
then I have to ship it and everything.
I'm sure she would pay shipping.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Just know I was rooting for you.
All right. Kathy said
it's not fair if other people wanted that bunny tin.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
And shipping to all sorts of parts of the world can be quite expensive. So if you are shipping things to Australia, yeah, it is expensive to ship stuff around the world, even if we ship it ourselves and they just charge the regular post office rates. It's expensive to ship stuff across the world.
What year was Curiosity Inc. established?
That's a great question. We're coming into our 5th year here. So
Wow.
I don't know when we incorporated though.
Oh,
so
yeah, right.
2016, something like that. It's been about 5 or 6 years since we incorporated. What, El Sibillo, for your cafe, just in time to open for us to have a coffee with you sometime. Well, that's an overly generous super chat.
And thank you so much.
I was happy here just being a chucklehead, just trying to make you guys giggle a little. You don't have to send me $140, but that's cool. Boy, I'm actually getting very excited to get this cafe built. Mm-hmm. As we get closer, we're gearing up and we're just really waiting. Now, like they say, it's like watching paint dry. It's like watching snow melt right now. Helping Hans says, I had to argue with a friend who just had eye surgery. He wanted to pay me for my sunglasses, but he needed them, so he deserves them. Well, see, that's the type of guy Hans is. It's nice to have good, honest friends and great people in your lives. Way to go, Hans. Hopefully we'll get Hans working on that new project come summertime too. I know he's up for it. Hans is on, by the way. So I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to get everybody back and working on that thing. Oh, I have had an insane amount of police presence in the last little bit at the store. Not because anything's happened, but if you guys don't know, we got robbed a few times last year to the point where I was actually feeling pretty depressed about running the store. And you try and give back to the community. This is before we found all the stuff in the house. So my frame of mind was, I was bummed out. We got robbed. I felt so violated, and I thought, what's the point of having this store if people are gonna keep breaking in? But then I thought, I'm not gonna let these people take advantage of me. And we got bars up, and we got draw gates on the doors, and we enhanced the security. So it's been we haven't had any issues since. Knock on wood. But the other day, right near closing, I had a couple guys that were, you don't want to say sketchy, but a little sketchy. And I'll explain it to you. Guy comes in.
I'm gonna make tea while you do that.
First thing is, and I'm not gonna. This is the funny part. So tattoos all up his neck and onto his face. He's got like everything is covered but his eyes. And I think he had sunglasses on, so you could barely see the stuff all over his face with his scarf coming down and stuff. Comes in the door, and this is like right before closing. And Bob the bottle man's with me. We're walking towards the door. The guy like turns on his heels and basically just runs down the street. We're like, well, that was super weird. So I'm like, did you need anything? And he's like, no. And he keeps going. And he's like halfway down the street. I'm like, you don't usually just walk in the store completely covered up like that and then turn heel and run. So I don't know exactly what was going to happen. That happened 2 nights in a row where somebody kind of a little bit sketchy came right at the end of the day and they looked like they were up to no good. So anyway, I just phoned the police and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't think anything's going to happen, but maybe if you're in my area, just do a little drive-by around closing just to make sure nothing's going on. So anyway, every day since then, I've had the police in my store like doing full-on check-ins. Like they're coming and checking in on us and making sure we're okay. And today there was like 4 of them there giving me tips on everything that's good. So anyway, I'm describing what this guy looks like. I'm like, yeah, he was about this tall, walked in the store, tattoos up his neck. And in walks Rock and Roll Paul, who matches that description to a T. I'm like, and the cop looks over. I'm like, it wasn't him though. It wasn't. I'm like, this is just what you say. You say to the cops, this guy sounded sketchy. He had tattoos all up his neck and onto his face. And then in walks Paul, who looks exactly like the bad guy. I'm like, well, this one's okay. He's my friend. I don't judge people based on tattoos. I do judge them if they turn around on your store and run out the door as fast as they can down
But
the
it was
block.
weird because the person's face was like all wrapped up. Like, okay, I get it, mask.
Other than
but
the
then,
side where you could see
with
them.
the part that was not would be showing had sunglasses. So
It was sketchy anyway.
That's weird.
But I was just explaining it to the officer. I'm like, it's about, 5'8" or so, 5'10", I don't know, and that tattoos up his neck, and then in walks Paul, boom, boom, and the cop's like, what? And I'm like, no, he's okay, he's my friend. So anyway, so Paul and the cop ended up just chatting for a while about like, what's become of it, what's going on around here, and anyway. The neighborhood that my store is in is actually considered a nice area.
Well,
yeah, it's considered one of the nicer areas of town. In fact, the houses in that area are really expensive. We were looking at, and they're heritage homes. So you're talking like maybe a 1,700, 1,900 square foot heritage home, from the teens kind of age, same age as my store. Okay size lots, I guess. They're like $700,000, $700,000 and up for one of those places. So there, people are spending money on the houses in our neighborhood, and so they want to make sure that that's a safe area. So I guess we've been getting some extra visits and stuff to make sure that we're okay. And so far so good. Everything is all good. I still do want to find a blacksmith to give us some fancier looking gates for the front, because the ones I have right now are very utilitarian and it's not very picturesque looking. It doesn't match the building. So if you're a blacksmith and you're watching this video and you're in the Edmonton area and you want to make some money, we could use some nicer gates for the front of our store that look cool. Anyway, so
we do have security cameras. We're not crazy. We have a security system.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of that stuff right now. And incidentally, I'm not opposed to having people that are homeless or from any background come into our store. I am opposed to being robbed though.
Yeah.
Our store is open to anybody to come in and we'll treat everybody exactly the same. However, if a person comes in and something bad were to happen, we would hope that wouldn't occur, but you never know. I guess I was just on edge because the other antique store down the street from us had somebody had attempted to rob them, and thankfully nothing happened. they got scared off. But it's just crazy times right now. So we're just being extra careful and cautious. But we've had the police in our area like pretty much every single day watching our store for us. So thank you to the Edmonton Police Service for keeping an eye out for us, and we appreciate that. Maybe they heard there's going to be a coffee shop. They're waiting for that to open up.
I mean, we're all waiting for that to open up.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just check in. Did you guys say there's going to be a coffee shop around here? Yeah, but not till spring. We'll wait. We'll be sitting up the block. We will wait.
I mean, we're really lucky because I mean, I know it's maybe not everywhere, but in our city and province and hopefully country, our police presence is very positive, like especially in our area, and the people that we've been fortunate enough to meet, they've been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, very professional and everything.
But they're kind of part of our team in a way, like it's kind of how it should be.
Well, he's the one officer that was in today said, I said, this is what I said. I have 4 police officers in there trying to give me tips, what to look for, assessing the building and all that stuff. And I said, I feel guilty you guys are here. I said, I made a phone call. Nothing happened. I was just kind of had my guard up a little bit maybe.
Good to let them know at least.
Yeah. And I said, I feel bad that you guys are here. I don't want to take up your time. I don't want to use up any more time after. He said, we're here for you. He said, you guys pay taxes for us to help you. We're trying to do our very best to help you to make sure that your business is secure and that this area is safe. So we're going to be here for you. So anyway, they were very kind. And even though they were giving me such good service, like when a waiter comes to your table like one too many times and you're like, oh, I'm okay. Like this coffee cup is super, couldn't get any fuller. It was such good service that I actually felt guilty about the service I was receiving. So Edmonton Police Service, thank you so much. So thank you to the city. And I'm glad that we decided to stick with keeping the business going and everything because I was pretty bummed out before the holidays and I wasn't sure any of this was going to go forward. And now bing, bang, boom. I don't know if it's karma or what it is. We're so bummed out and then, we decide, okay, we're going to put the bars up. We're not going to give in to all this stuff that's going on. And then we buy this house and then we have, the store has this windfall and now we have the money to put the building up. So, it's just tremendously fortunate. I see a lot of people asking about a sports card sale update and I see everybody's interested in that. I don't have the total yet for how we did with the sale, but I can tell you this much. I don't think I made my money back off of the purchase price yet. I spent a lot of money on that stuff. We put through 90% of it, 95% of it, but most of the really good cards I held back to send off for grading or have some at the store. So I wasn't expecting to get all my money back out of the sale, but I'll see. Friday I'll know. So I don't have the grand total for you. I have no idea what it did for a grand total. I didn't watch it. I was seeing that stuff was going lower than expected. And when you're watching, what's the point of watching a bad auction? It's like watching a sinking ship. It's fascinating and horrifying at the same time. So I was like, yep, well, I guess there's not much I can do here. But here's the flip side. This is what I've learned about a bad auction. Well, I'm not going to say it's a bad auction. The stuff was going for whatever it went for. I didn't put through all my gems there. So it went for whatever it went for. That's fine. And I'll get a chunk of my money back and that's all good too. But what I did notice is that things were going pretty cheap at that sale. And there was for anybody who was watching that sale, raise your hand if you were watching that auction sale online. If you weren't paying attention, because I was, you missed something. There was one thing that I bought, and I don't buy from auction very often, but I've learned that when you're at an auction sale and things are going low for your own stuff, sometimes you just turn around and buy something else from the same sale because it's all going low, including somebody else's good stuff. Yeah. So what I did, there was a lot of vintage men's watches. There was a basket, a little blue basket full of vintage wristwatches. Now, for those of you that know me, you know that I kind of like old watches. I wear an old late 60s Seiko myself. And so when I see old watches come up for sale, I generally know what to look for. So their description, vintage watches needs TLC. But what I saw was a 1950s Leroy Chronograph, which was a dual register chronograph, and a chronograph is kind of like what I have. It does things. You can use it as a timer. Essentially, it's a chronograph. That's why it's called that. And in mint condition, it's like a $2,000 watch. So even if it needed work, it was worth something. So I bought this little basket of watches for, I want to say $80 or something like that. I sent a picture off of a friend of mine, and he said, as is, I'll give you $900 for him right now. So I did make some good profit off of something at that auction myself. And judging from all the people that had shopping carts full of sports cards, there was probably some other people who got good deals too. So I think everybody eventually did okay. But I'm not holding my breath that I got my money back on those sports cards just yet. I think I've got a ways to go before that'll happen. So I know that's not a grand total and all that stuff, but we are slowly getting back to it.
Who was it that said it? Nancy. She said you sold something that said necklace 7 inches. You know what? It's funny. I saw that. I think you commented it before, and I was like, oh no.
Couldn't fix it at that point.
Yeah,
It was gone,
but
yeah.
thank goodness we put the size on it, because then at least if somebody was expecting a necklace, I think somebody said, is their neck the size of a broomstick? I laughed pretty good.
You know, part of the thing is when we do these auction sales, it's very time consuming and frankly mentally exhausting to prepare for an auction
There
sale.
were some things we had to go back through, even on this last lot. And Alexander's like, what color is this? I'm like, it's kind of a cream. He goes, I wrote twice green. Wasn't it green?
My eyes were seeing different colors. Like I'm like,
there's so many lots.
I was worried actually that I had temporary color blindness or something. I'm like, everything that was like kind of yellowy, I wrote down as green. I don't know what's wrong with my eyeballs, but anyway, it was really I have been mentally and physically exhausted from getting all these auctions put together, and I'll be happy and thrilled when it's all done. But
and it's fun to see where everything's ending up too, for the people that have been letting us know that they got their items, and the people that are doing unboxings have been interesting as well.
Somebody says vintage clothes. How will we find out what are the vintage clothes? I don't know what they're going to end up selling for. I mean, I doubt whether Mark is going to post what he's selling all his stuff for, but it's not in my hands anymore. We got our money back the first day out of the close, and I know he's going to do quite well with them. He's already probably more than made his money back on it. So we have no clue how Mark's doing, but I assume he's doing well. Same with Swish Vintage, and I wish them all the success that they can possibly have. You know, we've been very grateful and thankful for all the luck that we've had with everything that's happened too. We are going to be, you should watch Hans's videos. I think Hans is going to start the process of putting the flooring in the musician's house. And hopefully we'll have a chance to do an update video there once it's all up and getting renovated, so we can show you kind of the before and after. In the meantime though, the reason why the start of this video was blurry was that we had a bit of an adventure in the last couple days, and I filmed that adventure.
He had to warn me, because I always say before you guys get a chance to
I
see
said we have to leave it as a surprise for the video.
And a lot of people are saying, when's your next video? When's your next video?
So the next video is actually going to be posting right after this live feed.
Yep.
So for those of you that are on right now, at the exact same moment, there is a video uploading, which will be posting at 9 o'clock Mountain Time. And
as long as it uploads properly.
Yeah, as long as it uploads properly. So you will be able to see what we've been up to the last couple days. Anytime that you don't see a video from us for a little bit, it means that we're just busy. We're busy doing stuff. So there's an unboxing video and a special surprise anyway, there's a surprise in there too.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll have to watch the video and see, but a special surprise happens, and I do some unboxing of some mystery estate boxes.
That all happened today, right?
Yeah, that was today.
Yeah. So the video that is coming out today actually happened
yesterday and
today.
Yeah.
So you guys will be caught up in our lives, and you're sitting here with us right now. So
I'll just say that some of you on the live feed inspired me to take the actions I took. So you'll have to wait and see, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Hey, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button to like this video, make sure to do so. Hit that thumbs up button, because that keeps us motivated to keep yammering on about things that may or may not make any sense to any of you.
And make sure if you're not already subscribed, because I know I'm going to forget at the end.
Oh yeah, those are all good things too. So hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And no, I did not buy a third hoarder house.
You got the Linda tattoo?
I got the Linda
of Iowa.
Linda of Iowa. No, one thing not to do: get someone else's wife's name put on your chest.
I feel like I'm gonna let this one go. If it was a Linda of Iowa with I'm gonna let that happen. It's
really?
fine. Yeah, sure.
So if I show up with the Linda of Iowa,
yeah, I would be like, that's entertainment for us all.
You know, this is better
let
yet.
That happen.
I'm gonna find a guy who used to airbrush show vans in the '70s to airbrush that on the side of your van.
No.
To put on the side of your vehicle.
It is a Volvo SUV.
It'll be Linda of Iowa, like riding an eagle through the mountains or something. No, cornfields.
Why on the side of mine? You're the one that wanted to tattoo your chest.
You have more space on the side. Okay, I guess I can put it on the side of an ambulance. I'm gonna phone up some guy. Okay, I want you all to imagine what the guy who used to airbrush, like, you know, the sides of vans in the 70s. What is that guy doing right now? What is he doing? I don't know what I imagine.
I imagine he's doing what Dave does, not diecast Dave.
Oh, like Painter Dave?
Painter Dave.
Yeah. But
the one that did our sign.
Dave collects sports cards and rock t-shirts.
Yeah, I imagined the rock t-shirts because I've seen some of his collection.
No. I imagine that the guy who painted the sides of vans in the 70s is playing like the original Pong on one of those old school TVs right now. Like he still has that technology. He's like, oh, come on.
All these people are saying that they're dead.
Oh,
they're sleeping with the fishies.
Nah, he'd still be around. If you were 25 in the 70s, you're still around today.
Yeah.
Boy, I almost turned into Hans there when I said, oh, come on. Oh, come on, no. I almost turned into Hans for a second there. Retired in Saskatoon. He's giving spray tans. Hey, I didn't ask for an eagle, dude. What?
Oh, that's a good one.
There's a chick riding a dragon on my back. What's up with this? She's like, just go with it. It's all good.
That's pretty good.
It's all good. That guy would be a mellow guy. I bet you wouldn't get your van back for like 5 months. I'm going to take it into Danny down the street and he's going to get my van painted. 5 months later, oh man, I totally just wasn't feeling motivated to get to it. and then he gets you back your vehicle. Yeah.
Have you tried tap dancing yet? I feel like I've seen him.
I have, yes. Have I tried tap dancing? Yes. Have I succeeded at tap dancing? No. And I blame the fact that I don't have tap dance shoes.
Yeah, that's
they don't make the click. Tick, 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 tick.
Well, we'll glue some bottle caps on the bottom. Not only will it be a hazard.
No, when I'm doing impression of my friend Josh, it's always like, huh. he's just kind of sarcastic. Huh. Yeah. Melissa never puts anything in my, well, she put tea in my tea, but
Yeah.
this is, yeah.
Today's tea is vanilla Earl Grey with no milk.
Funky Arbark says, so when are you going to make a new version of Scooby-Doo? You can do most of the voices. Yeah, we'll have to wait until Hanna-Barbera reaches out. And they'll be like, you know, with Casey Kasem gone, we never really did find a proper Scooby-Doo and Shaggy replacement. Do you want to pick up the reins? And I'd be like, yikes!
Oh my goodness. I knew it was going to happen.
We got to get in there right now, Scoob! Yeah.
As soon as you wrote your comment, I completely thought, oh, it's going to get loud. It's going to get loud fast.
You know, truthfully, though, I always preferred Hanna-Barbera cartoons over Bugs Bunny or anything else. Hanna-Barbera was my favorite. Yogi Bear. You got Scooby-Doo. You got, I think, did they do the Archies, too? I feel like they did the Archies. Man, I'm just thinking about all the Hanna-Barbera characters floating through my head. What is it? Augie Doggy.
Dog, yeah.
Snagglepuss. Yes. Name your favorite Hanna-Barbera character in the comments below, and we'll see who yours are. Flintstones, of course.
Moose and
Moose
Squirrel.
and Squirrel. Yeah.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey. Hey, boo-boo. It's time for a picnic basket. I don't know, Yogi. Ranger Smith said not to steal. Yogi. Hong Kong Phooey.
Bullwinkle, the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah. Speed Buggy.
Whoa, wait,
Huckleberry Hound. Yeah. Well, Wacky Racers.
Heather like
Exit
Fred.
stage right. Yeah. Oh, Jabberjaws.
Captain
Boo Boo. Oh, yeah. Captain Caveman with his club. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, everybody, who doesn't like Hanna-Barbera?
Dudley Do-Right.
You know what I liked about Hanna-Barbera? They were generally there wasn't as much of the, like, you know, not as much of the getting hit on the head kind of humor or like trying to blow people up. It was more like hijinks or stealing picnic baskets, or Fred turning Barney invisible with his upside down Flint Rebel bubble cake. You guys remember that one?
They weren't like all that innocent either, though.
No.
If you watch it back and you're like, oh, I didn't catch that when I was a kid.
Yeah, true.
There's a lot of stuff where I was like, ooh, especially when I go to show my kids. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Now, what I didn't know is that for those of you that don't know and haven't watched my channel, I talked about my sister Heather quite a bit on here. Now, Heather and I grew up not knowing each other, not knowing that we existed. However,
Yeah,
had
they
a lot
were
of similar things going on there. We both well, many of us used to watch Flintstones at lunchtime. I used to come home at lunch. Flintstones would be on, right? I'd walk home from school. Lunchtime was there. Mom somehow, peanut butter sandwich right there, because nobody was allergic to peanuts when I was a kid. How did that happen? Peanut butter sandwich, chocolate milk, maybe some chips or something, and the Flintstones. I was good to go. I was heading back with a smile on my face back to school. Ruru Sarah said, Ruru Sarah sent us $5. Thank you so much for that. And a bunch of hippos peeking out.
I like little hippos.
So good times, you know. The Jetsons, well, that was like if I had time. Now, if you were in Canada, again, I talked to started off this video talking about Canadian stuff. There was a show called The Raccoons. And so only those of you that are Canadian will understand and know what this is. But there was a show about these raccoons.
Was that only Canadian?
Yeah, it was only Canadian.
I feel like that was a Canadian.
Yeah, it was Canadian.
That was kind of a wind in the wheels kind of.
Yeah, it was Canadian. So there was these teenage kind of raccoons, or like, I don't know, they must have been like in their early 20s because they had their own raccoon house, you know. Yeah. And the other two were like married or something, like newly married or their couple. Yeah. And they had this weird, like, I don't know what he was. Cyril Sneer was like, he had like this weird droopy nose and ears. Don't know what type of animal he was supposed to be.
Was Cedric.
Oh, maybe were they anteaters?
Maybe.
That would make sense. He had an anteater
like
kind of face.
Well, the guy off of the Muppets, like that bird with the.
Oh yeah.
But.
Gonzo. They had a Gonzo type nose.
Okay.
Aardvarks maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking anteaters. But that was another thing that would be like when you got home from school and you finished your meal and then you'd watch maybe an after school special. Remember? Oh no, after school special was literally when you got right home from school. It was before supper. So you'd get home and you'd learn a life lesson from an after school special.
I don't think I know what the after school special thing.
After school special were just like those kind of, you know, those cheesy movies that were like, oh no, Johnny decided to steal a car, but he's only 16. And then Johnny goes to jail and you're like, children, don't steal cars. After school specials were supposed to, I think, teach you something. Please film some of Madame Rack's students playing your piano. We will certainly look at doing that if they're up to it. So when you do the after school special, you eat dinner. Why was there a lot of TV involved when I was a kid?
I don't know.
Apparently that was a thing.
I wasn't allowed to watch TV when we first got home because we had to like go play outside since we were sitting in school for so long.
But here's what I remember most of all. That on a good day, you would have your shower, your bath, or everything at the end of the night. Your hair would still be kind of soggy. You'd be in your pajamas, and what would come on? Muppet Show would be on.
I thought that was at supper time.
That was right at the end of the evening. You'd have the Muppet Show come on.
Yeah, I had that.
And they always had guests that a lot of kids didn't really relate. They'd be like, and now today's guest, Steve Martin. And he'd be like having the arrow through his head. And you'd be like, I don't know this guy, but your parents would be watching. So they'd be up. The Muppets were like a late night sort of thing. And so you would get to watch the Muppets like around, 7 or 8 o'clock at night, just before bedtime. And that was like the highlight. Sunday morning cartoons in Canada, you had reruns of Hercules. Hey, Herc! Hey, Herc! Yeah. You guys remember that? You'd have reruns of Hercules, and then you'd have the Amazing Spider-Man from the 60s. Spider-Man, and the best J. Jonah Jameson on that one. But it was like the worst graphics on both of those. And Astro Boy. Those three, I'm like, that's what you got for viewing back in the day, was like Astro Boy, Hercules, from the 60s, and then and sometimes the hilarious House of Frightenstein. You guys remember that? I don't know if you guys remember that or not. Oh, Heather said, yes, I watch that all the time too. Loved The Chef. Yeah. Maybe some of you might know the hilarious House of Frightenstein based on the fact that I think it was mainly a Canadian thing as well, but that's what we're talking about. And why am I focused on the Canadian stuff right now?
Because you're Canadian?
Because I'm Canadian. In case you didn't know, I'm not getting content. Oh, Cindy of Red Deer says Rocket Robin Hood. Yeah, there's that too. But this morning I was on, I did a live chat with a school in Kentucky. And I did a live feed with them just for their school. And their whole goal was to ask people about they wanted to know what was different about Canada than the United States. So we talked about the weather and they want to know about politics and stuff because it was a school thing.
I thought it was somebody within.
I was the special guest at a school in Kentucky today. But what I should have done is waxed lyrical about how different our cartoons were back then. And then the teacher would have been like, this was a horrible mistake. And I'd be like, you caught a YouTube guy to try and teach your kids about Canada. I tried. I talked about the fur trade and I talked about how...
Is that what you thought you were doing the interview for?
Yeah. I did. But then some of them
Thank
were
you
just
very
asking
much,
questions
Deanna.
about being on YouTube and stuff. Oh, Deanna Lawrence, thank you very much. So I did that. And so that kind of got me thinking about, like the Canada and, all the things we're proudly Canadian.
I feel like if I had that phone conversation and I had agreed to do that, and then it started and they were asking me all those questions, I think, oh, I've made a terrible mistake, because I wouldn't have any. I would think that I was going to be talking about business and about pursuing your dreams, and then they'd be asking me about like Canadian history, and I'd be like, oh no,
yeah, they're like,
there's a hidden test. I've been tricked.
I was so prepared because I love history, so
Yeah.
I was able to just wax lyrical about it. But here's what I'm going to do now is, before we end this live chat today, which will be in a little bit, I have to explain to you what the hilarious House of Frightenstein was for all of those people watching who don't know what it is.
I'm in Canada.
Okay, well, you're going to know.
Clue.
First off, they had, who was the guy that, oh my goodness, Vincent Price appeared on it every so often. Billy Van, they had this basically like a Wolfman Jack character. It was a variety show. They had this little kid that looked like a Dracula. So imagine this. There's a guy that looks like a Wolfman who does a Wolfman Jack kind of thing. Hey guys, we're going to do this now. We're going to dance. And then for whatever reason, they would go to this Wolfman character dancing in front of a tie-dye screen, and all you would see was a silhouette and him, oh man, it's the Wolfman dancing. And there'd be like this crazy weird stuff going on. They had the Igor character. It was the strangest thing. It was like if Laugh-In was monsters and it was really cheesy, but somehow I used to watch it every week and I didn't get sick of it. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein, I think it was called, not Frankenstein. So they would have these little sketch comedies like, oh, don't open the curtains, I might turn into a bing, werewolf, oh, and you'd be like a child and you'd be like, what is this? I need to watch more. It was always like a sick fascination with watching it. So imagine, go look it up. Go look it up and you'll be like, what is this? Frightenstein. That's what I was saying, yeah. It was the weirdest. So if you're of a certain age, now that show was probably filmed in the early 70s, so I'm saying it was old. It was like when you'd have and even in Canada, we got your American stuff here every once in a while, where they'd be like, this is how we turn, they'd have like that Louis the Lightning Bug character that would like sing about how to turn how a bill would become a law or something, and it'd be on, first you go to Congress and turn into a bill.
Louis the Lightning Bug was about electricity.
Yeah, you gotta play it safe around electricity. Yeah, they had that. But there'd also be like the occasional, they make fun of it on The Simpsons and stuff too. They have all that crazy, they used to educate us through cartoons more. Whatever happened to that? Like the Charlie Brown episodes had a moral. Like there was always a moral at the end of it. Or throughout it. It was like all nothing but like, like don't trust a girl to hold a football for you. She's to pull it out when you go to, Melissa would so do that to me. She would Charlie Brown me with the football, I know it.
Not if I knew you were going to get
I'll hold it for you. You don't have to worry. She is definitely my Lucy to me being the Charlie Brown in this situation.
Lucy.
She is my Lucy.
Nice. I bought my shirt for those who are asking. Oh wait, we missed a Cindy.
Cindy says she liked The Littlest Hobo.
I like The Littlest Hobo too.
It was about a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My shirt came from a girl that's local here that does, actually she does a lot of stuff. I should see if she's on Facebook and I'll ship. But she did a great job.
Yeah, conjunction junction, what's your function? There you go.
What?
Yeah. What was the one where they would like speak words at each other? Far away. Far away. It would be like two mouths talking. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Nope.
I can't remember what it's called now. Yeah. Anyway. So a lot of those old things were old even when I was watching them. I feel like they just had a lot. Oh, the Electric Company. Thank you. Yeah, the Electric Company. Oh, I'm dating myself here. But so are all of you. You're all being dated right now too. But that's okay. Oh, we missed a super chat.
Sorry.
Melissa's gone off. You both cheer me up. Signs of Awesome says, thank you. We're just, if there was here and there was there, and silly was here and normal was there, I would tend to be closer on this side most of the time. I have moments, I find that I'm more serious, I think, in my videos than I am when I'm in real life.
True. For anybody interested, on Facebook, she's under the, hold on, the Crafty Mama that made this shirt.
Yeah.
Be kind. And it actually had actual sizes, because I bought one size up, because you know how those shirts usually are, and it was a little big.
The Log Driver's Waltz, yes.
Oh my goodness, now that's going to be stuck in my head.
Here's a memory for most people, and I don't mean to lose the Americans on all the other people that are watching this right now, but we would have these Canadian Minute things that would happen, but a really long time ago, there was also this weird stop motion claymation thing. Some of you, Diecast Dave, I'm going to rely on you to try and remember this, or Cindy and Red Deer. There was you'd be wanting to watch cartoons, and you'd have to sit through this weird National Film Board stuff because the Canadian government would they'd force you to learn. They force you to learn something about Canada. Anyway, they had this thing, it was like a stop motion mammoth. And it was, and then it would kind of stop and it would crack on the ice. And then it would start to fall through the ice. And it was like, oh no, the mammoths once roamed the land many years ago, but unfortunately they were clumsy and tripped over themselves and fell through the ice. They didn't say that, but it was something like that. That'd be the worst this is why I can't do documentaries about real stuff. This cup was forged in fire by Satan himself. No, it wasn't. Grandma made it at the class. Oh, I had the wrong thing. See, I can't narrate. I'd exaggerate probably. But there was those videos that would play.
The house hippo was good.
The house hippo. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. And they had a little tiny hippo in a cup.
I showed the kids that. I love that little house hippo.
But what was your favorite cartoon as a kid? What was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
How old?
When you were like, I don't know, what's the most memorable cartoon you used to like watching when you were a kid?
I don't know. Maybe the Flintstones.
Flintstones? Really?
Probably. I mean, like Mr. Dress Up, the Flintstones.
I wasn't too big into Mr. Dress Up.
You were missing out. It's because I love crafts. So Mr. Dress Up would do some kind of craft. My mom would pull out all the craft supplies and then we'd do the craft. So
it was a show about a middle-aged to slightly older man who would dress in fanciful clothing and put them on. Just like if you watch that or if you watch Mr. Rogers in reverse, it's just an old guy getting undressed through the whole thing.
Fred Penner.
Oh my God, what's Fred Rogers doing? He's taking off that cardigan. But he only ever put on the exact same type of cardigan, but another color. Time to unwind. I know I've joked like this before, but time to unwind. What a long day at whatever Fred Rogers did for work that wasn't that. I know he was a pastor, but he was a TV show host, but his character, what did he do? Like, what a day at the coal mine. Whatever he did, whatever Mr. Rogers did during the day, he came home in a perfectly clean cardigan every day. So I'm guessing it wasn't manual labor. Let's make up a job for what Mr. Rogers did when he wasn't there. When Mr. Rogers, Romper Room, Mr. Dress Up were her favorites. Thanks, Lisa.
What is it called? It's something
Romper Room, Polka Dot Door.
Polka Dot Door, the Romper Room.
What do you think Mr. Rogers did for work when he wasn't being there doing Mr. Rogers things? The character.
I would imagine him to be like a mailman.
A mailman? No, because then the mailman came to his house and visited, like...
Maybe it was his buddy Joe.
Why would he have... Maybe that's why the mailman came by, is because they were like buddies. It was like, I know you're off your shift.
Like, maybe a teacher?
Funeral director, somebody says. Well, we're so sad to see that Grandma passed. That's like you're dealing with death episode. We know that you love Grandma a lot, but now she's going to live in this box. Like, this is the worst worst Mr. Rogers episode ever. You're sick! You're sick, whoever said that! You're sick people! Mr. Librarian is better, I could see that. Killer GB says, you and Dan Heard prospecting on BC need to do a collab together in a video. It would break YouTube. He's playful and goofy also.
Did I miss that one? No,
yeah.
I didn't miss it.
Sweater salesman. Yeah, he worked at the cardigan store. I could see that.
I might have missed this one. Peters, did you see this one?
We used to watch You Can't Do That on television, which was great. Yes. Yeah, I remember seeing that too. They had slime or something too, didn't they? That dropped on their heads. Oh, yeah. He was not... Okay. I think Mr. Rogers worked... I'm gonna say that he was... I don't think he was a cardigan salesman. I don't think... Like, after a week of work, they'd be like... This is the 50s and 60s, right? They'd be like, Fred, you're just not pushing these cardigans hard enough. And in fact, we're starting to notice that you're buying most of them with your discount. We're not making any money off of this stuff. He'd be like, well, I really like to wear a nice cardigan. And be like, yeah, we're sorry, Fred. We're going to have to let you go. We need somebody with more pizzazz. And they'd have like Jimmy, who's like, I sell cardigans by the truckload. And Fred Rogers would be like, well, I guess that's wonderful for you. I could see him being a teacher.
A weird shoe salesman.
A shoe salesman. No.
I'm telling you, shoes. He was a bartender. Can you imagine?
Fred Rogers was not a bartender. No,
IRS.
I could see IRS perhaps. Yeah. Well, we're just gonna have to open up those logbooks and find out where all this missing money went to, and then like the little train would scoot along, and he'd be like, "Here go your taxes off to audit land." Like, this is awful. I think that he might have worked in a toy store. Doesn't he seem like a guy that would have worked at a toy store? I like to think that
I
he
thought
worked at a
something
toy
with
store.
children too.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
know that he
teacher.
was a minister. I know that what he
Yeah.
actually was.
I almost said what he actually was as well.
Yeah. Good day from the Ottawa Valley. Remember today's special? Yes. Yeah, we were just chatting about that. Today's special.
What was the one? There was like a.
It was a mannequin and a
Oh
mouse
yeah,
or
that's
something.
what it was. I was just gonna say the one with the mannequin. I forgot it was called. It's because the mouse spoke in rhyme, right?
I think that Mr. Rogers was like the Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium guy. I think that he would put your toy in a little package and tell you a story about it. He'd sell you a little bunny. Like it'd be like, here's a little bunny. You like her? We're just gonna hop her right in a little bag and you can take her home with a little
In
bow
the
on
little
it.
bag.
Yeah. Happy little bow. Now he's turning into Bob Ross. Jerry Bailey says a CPA. Maybe. I like to think that he had a fun job. I like to think that he worked at a toy shop and did not sell cardigans. Mind you, he worked at the cardigan store part-time to get his employee discount. That would explain the closet full of cardigans.
I mean, that's smart.
And all of this rolls back around. Oh, April says, glad everything went so well with the Musicians House auctions. Any Formula One stuff? Not at the moment. No Formula One stuff right now. Yeah. All of this comes wrapping around because I was I was joking that after a hard day at whatever he did, which clearly didn't make him have dirty clothes or dirty hands or anything, that he would relax by putting on exactly the same type of shoes but in a different color. No, he would go from a dress shoe, like a loafer, into a running shoe, like a high top. He had high tops, and I never remember him when he was playing too much basketball. So I'm going to unwind by dressing exactly the same in a different shade. So that's what I should do when I get home now.
Not your sister Heather, but Heather said, Alex, recently you commented about the Muppets. Which Muppet would you say you were closest to?
Fozzie Bear probably. Waka waka. I am part Muppet. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that I'm part Muppet. And if I was one, it would be a combination of probably Kermit and Fozzie Bear. Oh, they said no. He wore deck shoes. There you go. I thought he had loafers.
They knew they remembered what I was drinking.
Yeah.
Vanilla Earl Grey, no milk. True story.
Yeah.
But only because I had no milk.
Rules update. Nicole sprung, and I saw a lot of people asking for a rules update. I will tell you this much.
Cute sloth.
I will tell you this much of the Rolls-Royce debacle. It has been at that shop now since last year. That's how long it's been at the shop for. And I don't mean to say that it was necessarily the shop's fault that it's been sitting that long. It's the fault of my own for buying a car that is kind of a difficult car to find parts for as it is, let alone one that was hand-built and one of 50 made and whatever else, because it was a convertible version. So they have had one heck of a time finding some of these custom parts that were only fitted on a certain number of vehicles for that year. But they've done it. They, being Lev, my mechanic, my Mohawk Ukrainian friend mechanic, who's working at the shop that's doing the work, he texted me today and he said, "Where's your shop? I'm going to drive by in your car." And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, it's almost downtown. He's like, "Oh, that's a bit far." I'm like, "Yeah, don't risk a rock chip today in that windshield over testing out the car." But that means it runs and it drives and it stops and they're feeling confident enough to drive it around. So they were doing their test drive today, and they were apparently having good success with it. There's just a couple little bugs they got to work out of it. The distributor needs a bit of a reset. It needs adjusting. It's a little bit off. The timing was a little off. So, but it should be done hopefully pretty soon. So with any luck, the Rolls-Royce will be home soon. And I've been clearing space in the garage and getting everything ready. But it does have to go back to Angel, our wonderful upholstery lady, to get a little bit of the top finished up before it's totally done. So very, very close.
A lot of people are writing that his mom actually knit him his cardigans for the show, like his actual mom.
She was talented. Those things were tight. Those were like a well-fitted, nice cardigan. She should have been in the cardigan manufacturing business.
Maybe she was.
Mom, if you're watching, where's my cardigan?
Wow. Oh,
I know that you work full time, and
goodness.
I know that you have all this downtime to bake all the. My mom in her downtime bakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Mom, why are you baking like 3 pies and 4 loaves of bread?" She's like, "Well, that's the recipe I know to make." And so she sends stuff home with us all the time. And that's exactly what my grandma used to do too. My dad's mom used to do the same thing. We go to visit my grandma's house, and it would just be like 3 of us, and she'd have like 8 pies made. I didn't know whether you'd like apple or lemon meringue or cherry, so I just made them all. And my dad would be like, "Oh yeah." He would turn into the Kool-Aid guy and Kool-Aid his way through the wall. With his indestructible Kool-Aid glass body. And he'd be like, "Oh, pie." And I'd be like, "That's an awful lot of pie." But what I realized back then as a kid is that I don't know if it was a 50s or 60s thing, but they used to cut you like, pies weren't cut into 8 pieces. They were cut into 4 pieces. You want a piece of pie? We're going to cut this thing twice.
We call that the Archbold size.
It actually has a nickname in our family, and they call it the Archbold size. Do you want a normal piece or an Archbold size piece? Because my grandma, Archbold, used to cut them into 4s, into quarters, and you get like a quarter pie. And then she'd put vanilla ice cream on top. How, boy, yes, pie's good. And there's a debate whether you like pie better or whether you like cake better. Raise your verbal hand if you prefer pie over cake. Do you?
I think so. I like it both. Don't get me wrong. I will eat either. But I prefer pie.
There are some cakes that I do like.
Look at how many pies.
Pie, cake. Pie. Look at all the pie people. You know what we're missing in our town? When we open this coffee shop up, clearly there's a need for pies. We should have like a full-on pie wall.
Well, pie is easy to make.
We should have like a spring-loaded pie that shoots people in the face when they walk in the door.
Wow, feel free, you guys. Don't let this deter you from coming.
Yeah. We'd be like, you're going to like our pie so much, we're just going to whip it at you and you walk in the door. Oh, that might get us in trouble. If you ask for half a piece of pumpkin and half a piece of pecan pie, you get almost 2 full pieces, my trick. There you go.
Susie wrote, bandana grandma. My son plays drums at church. They put him behind plexiglass because he was so enthusiastic that they put a lid on the plexi box. I thought that What's Next chains like Muppets animals.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be around a drum player who's a drummer who's losing their drumsticks all over the place. A pie is the perfect topping for cheesecake. But my brother-in-law Patrick, who you might know is Patrick the Ghost on our channel from watching the Potter's House series. Patrick is a pie man. In fact, he does not like cake, and on his birthdays would always request pie.
Candles do not stay nicely in pie. There's
Sure
always
they do.
like that. No, they don't.
You just have to sink them into the pie like a bog man sinking into the bog. You just have to like dig it in a little bit.
Vies
like
for
quicksand.
Pies. We used to eat that from the farmer's market. Remember?
No, Vies for Pies is right by our store actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I had never actually been there. I've only seen it at the farmer's market.
It's not too far from us. Great. Now there's another pie place. Well, we don't want to be competing with all these traditional places in town. But,
Well,
yeah. Oh, the Patrick the Ghost channel. Patrick is a singer too, and yet we never sang together because I've never sung with another.
if you guys
human
get a
being.
chance to check out his channel, Matthew just posted it. He sang one of my favorite ones he sang recently. It was the You're Welcome, the Moana song, but he's so happy in it. So, and then it got stuck in my head for so long.
Yep.
You're welcome for that.
I am looking forward to. I mean, we already have a street full of police people that want to come get coffee and snacks
a whole
at our
neighborhood,
place.
not just the police.
I am starting to think about what we can do with that addition, and I'm getting excited for it. I really am. I'm excited to think about
Well,
how
now
to
that
decorate.
it's even more of a possibility. I mean, not that it wasn't a possibility, but it's kind of like more of a
Yeah.
realistic possibility.
I need to phone our contractor and make sure he's still on board. Could you imagine if he's like, well, I didn't hear back, so I took another job.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
I'd be
Somebody-
like, what?
Vladimir said there should be an Archbold sized pie at the Curiosity Inn Cafe, like an Archbold slice. Like continue on. The
Oh, yeah.
tradition.
Oh, yeah,
Would
we
you
could.
like a regular slice or an Archbold slice?
My grandma was also famous for making fudge, fresh fudge. She made maple fudge, chocolate fudge, every kind of fudge you can imagine. She baked like crazy. Heather, you would have loved it. Heather would have been all up. We would have been in there, us kids, digging away looking for what pie was ready and what fudge was ready to go. Yeah. But now we get to have these memories. I will find. I think
Is that how the contractor sounds?
Yeah. Yeah, I took another job. No, he doesn't sound like that. He's normal. He's just, he's like, hello, I'm phoning to check in on the work. Like, yeah, he's a normal guy. Anyway, so here's the gist of it. Here's the gist of what's been going on. Busy the last couple days. We did an unboxing video, which we'll post right after this video, hopefully, as long as everything uploaded okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Because you always get your hopes up and you think, yes, I'm just going to, no.
Yeah,
And
it should
then
notify
doesn't
people
upload.
fairly soon.
Pie cake and, oh yeah, I forgot that there's like a cake pie. I think a lot of people sent me recipes last year that I said I was going to try and I didn't, but guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, you got to get on your channel.
Somebody sent me a recipe for chocolate gravy, which we don't have here, like that you put on biscuits. That's got to happen. And then John Brewer, he sent me a whole bunch of recipes that I would like to try, at least a few on here. So I think pie cakin or whatever, cake and pie, that might need to happen.
Somebody's saying, how much did you make in the card auction? I didn't make any money. In fact, I've lost money so far. So I'm not feeling enthusiastic about the card auction just yet. I'll see on Friday exactly what the total is, but I have a feeling I'm in the hole a bit on that one. You win some, you lose some.
Know. Yeah. Coffee and pie sounds good. Thank you so much as well.
So we are waiting for the ground to thaw. I am cleaning up my garage to prepare for the Rolls Royce to come home. We did this little unboxing video. I have a few more picks lined up to go on in the next week or so. And gearing up for another Musician's House auction. And actually, this will be the last one because I will absolutely have nothing left to sell from that house. But
we thought we just had little odds and ends, like, you know, just not enough for a whole auction.
I wrote the auction house because somebody asked to see some cameras, and I went back behind our counter where these cameras were, and I moved the box, and there was not one but two plastic bins open it up full of jewelry. So I'm like, well, I guess this is happening. So it wasn't a whole bunch of diamonds or things like that. It was a lot of, you know, like Sherman costume jewelry and some silver pieces and some really interesting stuff. There's some cool pieces going to be going through. But we started putting it together, and there's like 950 more lots of jewelry. That makes almost 3,000 pieces of jewelry that we've sold, not including the stuff we sold out of the store. Absolutely craziness.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Lorena Tapia says, love you guys and love pie. Oh, there. See, she did a super chat just to express her love of pie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But do you guys put ice cream on your pie?
That's what I need to know. Somebody said a la mode. Who did I just see said
a la mode? Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. He posted Steven's YouTube channel for that is Steven Draws Our Son with his talented art. Yes. No, yes, of course. Apples, yes. You know what? I don't really ever eat ice cream on apple, I'm guessing.
It's got to be vanilla though. It's weird.
Yeah.
When somebody gives you, this is the worst. You go to, this isn't the worst. I mean, this is not a real issue, but if somebody brings you pie and they're like, do you want ice cream? And you're like, sure. And they're like, all I had was like butternut ripple or something weird. And you're like, well, that's an odd combination to have on it. Did not take, maybe that wouldn't be bad with apple, but like chocolate ice cream with apple pie is not a great combination.
Rutabaga pie. Wait, is that what
rhubarb.
you said? No.
Rutabaga?
They said rutabaga pie is so good.
We do rhubarb pie here. I don't know if you guys do rhubarb pie.
You know what? Cheese on an apple pie. I know a lot of people eat cheese on an apple pie. That's not as common here. Like, you wouldn't go to a store and get that.
My dad would put cheddar cheese slice on top of apple pie.
I've tried it before, but only because I saw it on like a video or something. But it wasn't a common thing here at all. I mean, for us.
Rick Lethbridge, thank you so much. Said to Laughing Kitty. My dad also
used to. Fox.
Oh, Fox. There we go. My dad used to have some cheddar and an apple, and he would take a bite of one and then a bite of the other, so he'd have the taste of cheese and apple. Does anybody ever do that, or is that just my dad?
I never tried it. The first time I ever tried peanut butter on apple was with you. I'd never seen anybody doing that before.
Yeah, you guys ever have like when you were little, you know, like 27?
I've seen people do snacks and stuff like.
Would your mom ever cut up apples and put peanut butter on top? My mom used to do that for me. And I don't know. Our kids still like it. I'll cut up apples and I'll put some peanut butter on the plate and they'll just kind of scoop it with the apple slice.
Lavender Carl said, my dad would put apple and salt.
Oh, yeah. They say a little bit of salt can actually make things taste sweeter.
That doesn't sound good, but I haven't tried it. To be fair, I'm probably going to try it the next time.
Heather says, I do. Yeah, apples and peanut butter. But that's a fairly healthy snack for your kids, I think.
Apples and peanut butter?
If you give them apple slices with
if it's natural peanut butter.
Yeah, like a spoonful of peanut butter with some apple slices is a nice little snack.
Some people use almond butter as well. I mean, natural.
On that note, now that everybody's hungry for pie and apples and peanut butter and all that stuff.
And I won't just do recipes that are unhealthy, of course, because we generally eat fairly healthy.
How do they find you on YouTube, Melissa?
I don't know, since I'm so rarely on. I'll put...
It's Melissa Archbold on YouTube. So Melissa has a YouTube channel, which she occasionally puts videos up. Yep. I'm going to give her a hard time.
You guys, thank you so much for watching that live that I did I was showcasing the pieces that I kept from the Musician's House. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I got a lot of support on that. I read all the comments and answered as many as I possibly could. I absolutely love doing that. So I got to get on it. That one's easy because I don't have to edit.
Yes, check out her channel. And you're going to put out more videos soon, right?
Yeah, I think I might try one of John's recipes that he gave me last year, and I'll get the groceries for that tomorrow. So I have the day off. We have teachers convention tomorrow, so I have no excuse.
Melissa's channel is like the what our family is up to, where mine is kind of like what I'm doing for work and what the store is up to with some family, with a little bit of spicy family on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Melissa's is like, you know,
And behind the scenes, kind of what Edmonton is like. And
yeah,
this shirt, I'm not used to having stuff touching my neck. I don't have some weird rash. It's just touching me.
is that why you keep scratching your neck? So have a wonderful
Fried
night,
pickles.
guys. Stay tuned after this video because you'll get a notification that there's a new video and you're going to see what happened today. There's an unboxing portion of it while I find some treasures that are, you know, in boxes. And there's a little surprise. So stay tuned for another video after this one. And thank you guys for all watching. And don't forget to give a thumbs up to the video. Thank you, Bandana Grandma, who wants to do a collaboration with Melissa. Check out the next video. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful night. Bye for now.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.